All right, that was Johnny Good. He has been on the show. He's stopped by a couple of times, and he's been in here. He's got we have a live acoustic performance with him, actually, if you go on iTunes and download that. Once again, we are in the thick of Fund Drive, and we've got you can call in and pledge 1-855-740-1017. There's literally a crowd of people outside that will take your call, and we're all very grateful. We're at $2,200 already, which is insane. So keep it up. That's awesome. I am here in the studio with Paul Alexander, Port Alberni's treasure. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm here. Yep.
And okay, so you've been a comedian for.
You're not supposed to breathe a lot in front of the mic, like. I'm sorry, as I was breathing a little heavy there.
I was thinking we could just breathe into the mic for the next 10 or 15 minutes and see how it goes.
Could be like therapy for some people.
Yeah, you're going to listen to the sounds of us breathing, and
I'm on an actual all plant-based diet now.
Are you really?
Day 45, all plant-based diet, and my urine's the color of a barbershop pole. That's good. That's good, right? I think that's good. Well, I got it from...
The worst part, I think, is that the white is so strong on a barbershop pole.
You're right about that.
That's not good. That's bad. That's worse than the red, I think.
It's eye-watering.
Oh, God.
Well, I got sucked in, right? Because I saw this documentary on Netflix, and you ever see those dudes that come out with those movies, and they're like, guy has a juicer, and he like feels awesome, and he looks like he's all ripped and everything.
Yeah.
All he does is drink juice, right? And you're like sitting there going, yeah,
Get
wow, you know? Yeah. And so I saw one of those, right? And it was all about veggies or whatever. I mean, it's all salesmanship, though, right? Like, the guy could sell me anything, and I'd buy it, right? Right, mate, welcome to my all-beer diet. I fell down the stairs 4 times, and then I feel bloody great. I'd be like, hey, check this out. This might work, you know? You want to be lean and mean? You want to clean out your system? Drink beer. It'll clean out your
right out.
You'll be going to the pisser every hour on the hour. You could do cutaways, you know. Yeah, you know, I was kind of thin, and then I met Al, and he told me about his all beer diet, and I'm really big now, and if I hit my hand with a hammer, I don't feel it
until later.
But my wife is like really into it, so she's like, so today we're gonna make sure we wash the spinach, and I'm like, meat? No, spinach. Leaves, Paul. Spinach leaves. Meat? Leaves.
Yeah.
Today we're gonna eat beets.
Oh,
meat? Beets.
You're losing it a little bit.
I'm losing it a little bit. I gotta have some sausage.
That's probably a good idea. I think you'll feel better.
Yeah.
We were talking a bit during the break just about the benefit of being on a station like this as opposed to, a commercial station, and the reason that they do all this fundraising is because it isn't funded by anybody. It's all public funded. It's all like that, and you're not going to get content like this anywhere else, which arguably might be a positive for some people. But it's a positive thing to have these stations and have community-based media, I think.
I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. What were you talking about? Community-based, yeah.
Just the importance of community radio and community-based media as opposed to commercial-based radio.
Yeah, well, I lived in L.A., right? For
Right.
15 years, and talk about, commercialization of everything and shows and things, and just moving up to Canada to a little mill town for me it's so freeing, you know?
Yeah.
And people, my friends are still like, why would you leave Los Angeles, you know, and move to Port Alberni, you know?
Yeah.
You were in Hollywood. And to me, it's totally obvious, right? The strippers. That's why I moved my family up here as fast as I could.
Naturally, yeah.
Yeah.
You mean the strippers in Port Alberni, not the ones in LA. You weren't escaping them. You were coming to these ones.
Specifically.
Right.
But no, it's that community feel. People are just friendlier up here. You know, Canadians in general. Like, you can call people for technical advice or, you know, even a realtor for a quote, and they'll just, like, start talking to you, you know. Oh, like, what's the weather like there, dude? You know, they don't do that in the States. It's just right to the money bit, you know, right to the money bit. That's it. And even the graffiti's friendlier up here, you know. Like, on the side of a train in Port Alberni, I saw someone had written, "Kill the man," and under that it said, "This paint is water soluble." So
so you were a working comedian in LA. Have you found that it's harder in general to do that kind of work up here? Or
yeah, I find being in comedy in general is hard. It's hard every day, right? Like, being a comic can get you into a lot of trouble. Yeah. When I crossed the border, I drove my car across the border, and, you know, the Border Patrol guy was like, "What's the purpose of your visit?" And I said to him, "I have a surprise for Stephen Harper." And that was the comic voice in my head.
Yeah, sure.
And then I said, "Please, officer, whatever you do, don't open my jars of insects." So, but there's millions and millions and millions of comics, and I know most of them, and they were all in Los Angeles. It's like
all of them live in LA.
You know that thing where they go, "Well, you know, you missed the train." Yeah, the train already left before you even get to Los Angeles. I mean, there's like 13 million people there, and like 12,999,000 have already finished a script, and it's ready to shoot. Yeah. So how do you compete with that, right?
Yeah, they're not making that many movies. That's just not happening.
There's slightly less of those movies in Port Alberni.
Just slightly, though.
Although, did you hear about the TV show that's coming to town?
Oh, God.
It's Dancing with the Scars. I put that in there. Hey, I'm just saying they're friendly people, but I moved in, and the guy right next to me had one leg. That was my welcome. Other than the RCMP officer, that was my welcome to Port Alberni. He was a great guy, right? But the thing that's really amazing is that in the next house down, not a word of a lie, that guy had no legs. And then the other direction, if you go south, there's a guy who is on a leash in his backyard. I don't even want to get into that.
Oh, man, that is horrifying. Hi. I like to make people uncomfortable as soon as they walk in the door of the studio. I think that's the best way to run the show.
She left her coffee here. She had to come in for it.
She did, yeah. I will definitely work harder at making people uncomfortable. If you are enjoying the show and you would like to pledge this radio station, please call 1-855-740-1017, and I promise to continue delivering content like this for as long as they will let me do it. Which, again, I guess is whether or not that's positive is totally up to everybody else.
Yeah, you have like a subjective, objective thing you're constantly dealing with, right?
I do.
Yeah. Well, there's lots of people milling around here. You know, it's interesting. You got like bulletproof glass there.
I had that installed when I started.
Yeah, good idea. Good idea.
I thought that it would be the best way. I could have just put the wall back, but I think that people like to see their target at least. I'm here in the studio here at CHLY with Paul Alexander from Port Alberni, just like me. But before that, from LA, or
Toronto, Hollywood, Port Alberni.
So you mentioned that there are 6 billion comics in Los Angeles, and you know all of them.
Yeah, I love this guy, Patton Oswalt.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you ever get a chance to check him out,
he is hilarious and raw. I like his stand-up a lot. It's pretty fantastic.
I did a show there called Comedy Free for All for a while in West Hollywood at this little club, and I would have like a little band. They were called The Favorites. A friend of mine, Ryan Johnson, actually introduced me to him, and he went on to be a filmmaker.
Yeah, his most recent movie just came out.
Looper.
Yeah.
Right. And I was around. I knew him when he did Brick, when he was editing it in his bedroom, which is his first movie. It was Art House. And then his second movie, same kind of thing. And now this one, he's just like, he's on another planet, you know. Yeah. He's got like he he's got the iPhone 27 now, so I wouldn't even know how to...
He shot it all on the iPhone 27.
He's on a spaceship now or something. Bruce Willis is in his film, and
it's a documentary that he made.
He's probably protected by hundreds of studio sentries now, and there's no way to get to him. But I did hear actually that after he spent 3 months working on this film, and it was shot and everything was done, he wrote and directed it himself, that all the studio executives approached him and actually wanted him to call the movie Blooper. And he had a little trouble with that. I ended up in film production, working for this huge studio, right?
Yeah.
And while I was there, I couldn't stop writing comedy, though. So I was supposed to be running the lighting department for all these shows, from CSI Miami to you name it. I mean, it was sick how many shows we did.
Yeah.
I think the last thing I worked on was Iron Man 2, right?
Oh, wow.
But that's just how much do you want? When do you want it? It's just endless lights, right?
Yeah, as much light as possible.
So I had my own office, and I'd sit in there and I'd say, screw that. I'm just going to write comedy, right? So I considered myself a professional comedy writer in Hollywood, although the studio probably wouldn't have agreed.
Okay.
But I wrote this book about my kid, and it was just some advice for fathers. I could read some of it for you.
Please, yeah, absolutely.
If I had time.
Yeah, you absolutely have time. It is a huge leather-bound book that you've brought in.
It's massive, and thanks for giving me the dolly.
Absolutely, I understand that sometimes you need them. Yeah.
So I guess I'll just read them randomly.
Yeah, please.
Right?
That's fine. Yeah.
These are just random notes. Our baby was born premature, the same way he was conceived. I took my kid to Toys R Us. Wow, they're really laughing hard out there.
This is killing
But they're not laughing at me. They're laughing at something else. Are they killing an animal out there or something?
I don't know what's happening out there.
Oh, there's another guy with a guitar.
Oh, he's the next guest.
Is he coming in?
He is. He's in at 4 o'clock.
Awesome. Was I halfway through a joke there?
You were halfway through a joke, yeah. And then you
I took my kid to Toys R Us?
Yes, that one.
I took my kid to Toys R Us. You know what? They really should call that store Put It Back. Not that funny. Not the best joke I ever wrote. It's like a B joke, not really an A joke. But here's an A joke. It's the latest one I wrote, and it's based on a true story.
Okay.
This young woman actually came up to me, and she seriously asked me, she said, my father was addicted to cocaine when I was born. Does that make me a crack baby? And I told her, nah. It probably just means that when you were conceived, he was in a hurry. Is it good to leave on that? Is that a good... I'm going to go apply over at Costco.
Okay.
No, or maybe Walmart. I'll apply as a Walmart greeter.
Oh, man. Now... First of all, thanks very much for coming down, and I mean, you made the trip down from Port.
I bought some boots for my kid today. He came along for the ride. He's plugged into his iPhone now, so yeah, we've had fun. I guess I should go get him because
we have just sort of left him out there.
He could be abducted by somebody.
He could. Do you have any shows coming up locally in the near future?
Yeah, I'll be in my basement next week next to my furnace.
Okay.
I'll be working on some jokes there. And I have 3 chairs for anyone that's interested.
Very expensive show, though.
$1,000 a seat.
Yeah, that makes the most sense.
$1,000 a seat.
Yeah.
And I'll be at the Capitol Theater volunteering, handing out costumes on Tuesday night if anyone wants to come there.
Well, all right.
I'll be at the Safeway Bakery tomorrow morning.
Picking up some baked goods.
Yeah, I like the job. But when my teeth fall in the mixing bowl, it kind of gets in the way. When I was young, I wanted to make a lot of dough, and now I'm sitting in a bakery going, this isn't
what I wanted.
What the hell? No, I'm working on some things.
Okay.
Hopefully I'll be at the Capitol, or I'll be at Char's Landing.
All right.
And then there's Hecklers in Victoria.
Right, yep.
Coming up. And there are a couple other shows I want to talk to you about, actually.
Okay, well, we can definitely talk about that. This next band is a band that is from Nanaimo and that has been on the show and that I play all the time. This is The Body Politic, and we'll be back in the second hour of the show with the Symphony Tree, so stick around for that.